Good morning, my dearest children. Hope you all are safe and fine at home. So today in English literature, we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter 8, Lucy Looks into the Wardrobe, from The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. We are going to do the reading of the chapter and then we are going to discuss the previous work that I have given you on squirrel, the answer we are going to discuss. Okay, children? Wardrobe. Wardrobe. What do you mean by the word what? Wardrobe. Okay? A wardrobe is a large cupboard that you hang the clothes and you store clothes. I'm sure all of you must be having one at home. But children, imagine if you have a wardrobe that has a door, a magical door. And when you open the door and imagine what things would you wish to see inside the magical wardrobe. So let's read and see and find out what Lucy, the name of the girl in this chapter is Lucy, what Lucy discovered when she opened the magical wardrobe. Okay? Let's turn to page number 97 and read the chapter. Okay, children? I'm sure you have your English literature book with you, the roots. So turn to page number 97 and let's read. Just a reading today. I'm waiting for you to open the page. Okay, now I'm sure you must have got it now. Lucy looks into a wardrobe. You must have seen out there it's written 7, children, but it's chapter 8, okay, because we have done the poem. The poem, there's no number in the poem. So the poem was chapter 7 and this is chapter 8. Lucy looks into a wardrobe, from The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. We'll start with the reading. It was the sort of house that you never seem to come to the end of, and it was full of unexpected places. The first few doors they tried led only into spare bedrooms, as everyone had expected that they would. But soon they came to a very long room full of pictures. And there they found a suit of armor, and after that was a room all hung with green, with a harp in one of the corner. And then came 3 steps down and 5 steps up, and then a kind of little upstairs hall and a door that led out to a balcony. And then a whole series of rooms that led into each other and were lined with books. Most of them were very old books. And shortly after that, they looked into a room that was quite empty except for one big wardrobe, the sort that has a long looking glass in the door. There was nothing else in the room at all except a dead blue bottle on the window wall. Nothing there, said Peter, and they all trooped out again. All except Lucy. She stayed behind because she thought it would be worthwhile trying the door of the wardrobe, even though she felt almost sure that it would be locked. To her surprise, it opened quite easily and 2 mothballs dropped out. Looking into the inside, she saw several coats hanging up, mostly long furs. There was nothing Lucy liked so much as the smell and feel of fur. She immediately stepped into the wardrobe and got in among the coats and rubbed her face against them. leaving the door open. Of course, because she knew that it is very foolish to shut oneself into any wardrobe. Soon she went further in and found that there was a second row of coats hanging up behind the first one. It was almost quite dark in there, and she kept her arms stretched out in front of her so as not to bump her face into the back of the wardrobe. She took a step further in, then 2 or steps always, expecting to feel woodwork against the tips of her finger because she could not feel it. This must be a simple, enormous wardrobe, Lucy thought. Going still further in and pushing the soft folds of the coats aside to make room for her, then she noticed that there was something crunching under her feet. I wonder, is that more mothballs? She thought, stopping down to feel it with her hands. But instead of feeling the hard, smooth wood of the floor of the wardrobe, she felt something soft and powdery and extremely cold. This is queer. This is very queer, she said. She went on a step or 2 further. Next moment, she found that what was rubbing against her face and hands was no longer soft fur, but something hard and rough and even prickly. What it is? Just like branches of tree, exclaimed Lucy. And then she saw that there were a light ahead of her. Not a few inches away where the back of the wardrobe ought to have been, but a long way off. Something cold and soft was falling on her. A moment later, she found that she was standing in the middle of a wood at night time with snow under her feet and snowflakes falling through the air. Lucy felt a little frightened, but she felt very inquisitive and excited as well. She looked back over her shoulder, and there, between the dark tree trunk, she could still see the open doorway of the wardrobe and even catch a glimpse of the empty room from which she had set out. She had, of course, left the door open, for she knew that it is a very silly thing to shut oneself into a wardrobe. It seemed to be still daylight there. I can always get back if anything goes wrong, thought Lucy. She began to walk forward, crunch, crunch, over the snow and through the wood towards the other light. In about 10 minutes, she reached it and found it was a lamppost. As she stood looking at it, wondering why there was a lamppost in the middle of the wood and wondering what to do next, she had a pitter-patter of feet coming towards her. And soon after that, a very strange person stepped out from among the trees into the light of the lamppost. He was only a little taller than Lucy herself, as he carried over his head an umbrella, white with snow. From the waist upward, he was like a man, but his legs were shaped like a goat's. The hair of them was glossy black, and instead of feet, he had goat's hooves. He also had a tail, but Lucy did not notice this at first because it was neatly caught up over the arm that held the umbrella so as to keep it from trailing in the snow. He had a red woolen muffler round his neck, and his skin was rather reddish too. He had a strange but pleasant little face with a short, pointed beard and curly hair. And out of the hair there stuck 2 horns, one on each side of the forehead. One of his hand, as I've said, held the umbrella. In the other arm, he carried several brown paper parcels. What with the parcels and the snow, it looked just as if he had been doing his Christmas shopping. He was a faun. And when he saw Lucy, he gave such a start of surprise that he dropped all his parcel. "Goodness gracious me!" exclaimed the faun. So children, this is the reading of the chapter, and I'm going to send you the spellings. Please read the spellings. I'm going to send you the spelling. So please read the spelling and read through the chapter thoroughly. And next week, I'm going to do the explanation. In the meanwhile, I'll be sending you some video. So please watch. It will make you understand better. So this is the chapter. I just would like to do the discussion on the answer that we did last time. The squirrel. Okay, so please turn to page number 70. Okay, comprehension. Page number 70. Comprehension. Okay, the first question is, what is the squirrel doing? Tick the correct option. The option givings are A. Hiding nuts in the snow. B. Playing in the snow. C. Looking for hiding places. And the right answer is A. Hiding nuts in the snow. Number 2. How does the poet know that the squirrel will find the nuts in winter? Tick the correct option. The first one, A, is she had read about squirrel habits at school. Number B, she has seen the squirrel do this before. Number C, she has seen the squirrel marking his hiding place. So number C is the right answer. She has seen the squirrel marking his hiding place. Now number 3, the question. We usually call big animal beast. Why is the poet calling the squirrel a beast? The poet called the squirrel a beast because it is an animal. All 4-footed animals are beast. Okay? Number 2, why is the squirrel collecting so many nuts in September? Because it was storing up for winter before the snow started falling and started hiding it in the snow. Number 5, how do you think the squirrel knows where he must go where there is snow everywhere? Because squirrel have very strong sense of smell. They can sniff and can find the exact place. Moreover, the squirrel have very good memory. Actually, I had explained this to you when I explained the chapter. I'm sure you know the answer now, children. So, okay for now. Bye-bye. See you next week. And one more thing I want to remind you, children. Please send your answer to my personal number and please do your work religiously, children. Most of you don't do, except Emily, very good, and Richard also. They do their work regularly. The rest of you, please do your work, children. You will need this when you do your exams. Alright, children? Bye-bye. Take care. Stay safe.